Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up over the next 30 minutes. A great moment for India as Group Captain Shukla safely touches down from the International Space Station along with 3 other astronauts as part of Axiom Mission 4. President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Modi congratulate Group Captain Shukla on his historic splashdown. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar urges all SCO members to take an uncompromising position on the challenges of terrorism, separatism and extremism as the group's foreign ministers meet in China's Tianjin. EU foreign ministers meet in Brussels to discuss Ukraine. Its foreign policy chief Kaja Kallas says an agreement on new sanctions against Russia is on the cards. And Tesla finally drives into the Indian market with the launch of its Model Y priced at around $69,770 at its inaugural showroom in Mumbai. Now, in a historic moment, the Axiom Mission 4 or AX4 carrying Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla and 3 other astronauts from the US, Poland and Hungary splashed down around 3:01 p.m. Indian Standard Time on Tuesday. The 4-membered crew returned home after spending 18 days at the International Space Station. A SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule carrying the 4-member team parachuted into the ocean off the coast of California, that's the Pacific Ocean, at around 9:30 GMT, following a fiery re-entry through Earth's atmosphere that capped a 22-hour descent from orbit. For India, Poland and Hungary, the launch marked the first human spaceflight of each country in more than 40 years and the first mission ever to send astronauts from their government's respective space programs to the ISS. Mission pilot Shubhanshu Shukla, Commander Peggy Whitson and 2 mission specialists undocked from the ISS on Monday at 16:45 hours IST. Now, as Shubhanshu Shukla returned back on Earth, his family has expressed its happiness and has said that the entire nation is proud of their son.
बहुत खुशी है हम तो गार्जियन हैं बहुत और पूरे देश को खुशी है आप सब लोगों को खुशी है कि बच्चा हमारा वापस सकुशल वापस आ गया ये हमारे लिए और देश के लिए सबके लिए गौरव देश के लिए बड़ा गर्व की बहुत गर्व की बात है हमारे लिए खुद गर्व की बात है हम हमारे लिए सबके लिए देश के गर्व मतलब जो है देश का परिवार के लिए
सब अच्छे से हो गया सब ईश्वर साथ में है ईश्वर ने ही उसको वहाँ पहुँचाया था उसी की दुआओं से उसी के सब पहुंचाया था उसी ने सब सुरक्षित लैंड कराया सब कुछ वही है
क्या कहेंगे आखिरी
अब कुछ नहीं आगे आने वाली पीढ़ी को सबक लेना चाहिए सीखना चाहिए जिसको आगे बढ़ना है वो आगे बढ़े अपना इसी तरह से
लग रहा है
अभी हाँ बिल्कुल धरती पे आ गए हैं बहुत प्राउड मोमेंट है हमारे देश के लिए भी और पूरे नेशन मेरे लिए एंड पूरे नेशन के लिए ऑफ कोर्स
India's President Draupadi Murmu has congratulated astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla on his incredible achievement. In a social media post on X, the President said, and I quote, "A hearty welcome to Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla as he comes back on Earth after his space journey. His role in piloting of Axiom Mission 4 to the International Space Station has created a new milestone for India's space exploration as well as for international collaboration in science and technology. My congratulations to everyone involved in this mission." End quote. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also welcomed Group Captain Shukla on his return to Earth from his landmark mission. In a post on X again, the Prime Minister has written, and I quote, "I join the nation in welcoming Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla as he returns to Earth from his historic mission to space. As India's first astronaut to have visited the International Space Station, he has inspired a billion dreams through his dedication, courage and pioneering spirit. It marks another milestone towards our own human spaceflight mission, Gaganyaan. End quote. And India's Science and Tech Minister Jitendra Singh has expressed happiness over the safe return of Axiom 4. Calling it a moment of glory for India, the minister noted that one of India's illustrious sons has returned from a successful voyage, having conducted it for posterity, also conducting life-bearing experiments in microgravity, which has never been done before.
It's a moment of pride for the whole world and a moment of glory for India as one of her illustrious sons returns back after accomplishing a successful voyage and after having conducted some of the very vital life-bearing experiments never done before. And therefore, as I said, today indeed Bharat has found an enduring space in the world of space.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar has called on Chinese President Xi Jinping this morning in Beijing. This was with his fellow foreign ministers of the SCO grouping. Dr. Jaishankar conveyed the greetings of President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Modi. He also apprised President Xi of the recent developments in India-China bilateral ties. The minister said that he values the guidance of leaders of both the sides in this regard. The meeting with the Chinese president has come a day after Dr. Jaishankar held talks with China's Vice President Han Zheng and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi in Beijing. And the External Affairs Minister also met Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Tianjin. The leaders reviewed bilateral cooperation and global developments. And he also met Iran's Foreign Minister Saeed Abbas Araghchi on the sidelines of the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting in Tianjin. And while attending that SCO meeting, that's the SCO Council of Foreign Ministers in Tianjin, Dr. Jaishankar has made India's stand very clear where terrorism is concerned. Addressing the gathering, he emphasized that terrorism, separatism and extremism, the three evils the SCO was founded to combat, often go hand in hand. Referring to the recent terrorist attack in Pahalgam on the 22nd of April this year, Dr. Jaishankar stressed the need for collective action. He noted that the UN Security Council had strongly condemned the attack and called for the perpetrators to be held accountable, a commitment India has acted upon and will continue to uphold. This was a reference to Operation Sindoor. Dr. Jaishankar further called for cooperation rooted in mutual respect, sovereign equality and strict adherence to the territorial integrity and sovereignty of all member states. Now, China has expressed strong disapproval on Tuesday regarding the US's pressure tactics following President Donald Trump's warning of very severe tariffs against Russia's remaining trade partners if the Ukraine conflict remains unresolved for the next 15 days. Meanwhile, Chinese spokesperson Lin Jian has said there are no winners in trade wars and coercion and pressure will not solve the problem either.
I would like to reiterate that China has always believed that dialogue and negotiations are the only viable way to resolve the Ukrainian crisis. There are no winners in trade wars, and coercion and pressure will not solve the problem either. We hope all parties will work to foster an environment and build the conditions necessary for a political settlement of the Ukrainian crisis and do more to encourage peace and promote talks.
Now, this statement has come after US President Donald Trump on Monday announced a toughened stance against Russia for its Ukraine offensive. Trump coupled his arms announcement with a vow to impose tariffs and sanctions on Russia if Moscow will not make a ceasefire agreement within 50 days. The US president threatened to hit buyers of Russian exports with sanctions unless Russia agrees to a peace deal within 50 days. This is a major shift in policy brought on by American disappointment with Moscow. Trump has been reluctant to punish Russia, but he came away from a recent phone call with Putin disappointed that the Russian leader appeared prepared to continue the conflict.
I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple. And they'll be at 100%. And that's the way it is. That can be more simple. It's just the way it is. I hope we don't have to do it.
Now, foreign ministers of the European Union have met in Brussels on Tuesday and have discussed the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha joined the Foreign Affairs Council through a video link. EU countries are close to reaching an agreement on a new package of sanctions against Russia, the bloc's foreign policy chief Kaja Kallas said on Tuesday. The European Commission last month proposed the 18th package of sanctions against Russia for its offensive against Ukraine, aimed at Moscow's energy revenue, its banks and its military industry.
Really welcome the news that comes from the United States that they will provide weapons to Ukraine so that they can defend themselves. Of course, we hope to reach also political agreement on the 18th sanctions package. We are very, very close. I hope it comes today.
The Kremlin said on Tuesday that U.S. President Donald Trump's recent statements, including a threat of sanctions on buyers of Russian exports, are serious and require analysis. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov reiterated that Russia was ready to continue direct negotiations with Ukraine and was still waiting for a signal from Kyiv on when the next talks could take place.
The statements by the US President are quite serious. Some elements appear to be personally addressed to President Putin. We certainly require time to analyze what was said in Washington.
And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday marked Statehood Day in Kyiv, reaffirming the nation's resilience. Addressing the ceremony attended by US Special Envoy Keith Kellogg and other foreign guests, Zelensky said Ukrainians have bravely endured intense Russian attacks and will always remain independent people.
The question is which of our neighbors in Europe will be forced to go through what our people are going through in Ukraine. In Sumy, in Kharkiv, in Donetsk, in Zaporizhia, in our Kherson region, in our Crimea. Ukraine must defend itself and will do so. Ukraine must preserve and strengthen its statehood, and it will do so. Ukrainians have withstood harsh Russian attacks and will always be an independent people.
And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. New York's iconic tube station on the 28th Street flooded due to torrential rains.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, images of water gushing into a subway train platform in New York. This tells us of the intensity of the rainfall that fell there. Authorities issued several flash flood warnings across New York City metropolitan area. An eyewitness video showed floodwaters surging onto the platform of 28th Street Station as passengers watched from inside a train car. In another video, passengers knelt on their seats or lifted their legs to avoid the floodwater inside the train. New York City subway service has been experiencing severe delays due to stations flooding according to the Metropolitan Transportation Authority. China's economy slowed less than expected in the second quarter in a show of resilience against U.S. tariffs. Analysts warn that weak demand at home and rising global trade risks will ramp up pressure on Beijing to roll out more stimuli. The investors are bracing for a weaker second half as exports lose momentum, prices continue to fall, and consumer confidence remains low. Data on Tuesday showed China's GDP stood at 5.2% in the April-June quarter from a year earlier, slowing from 5.4% in the first quarter. Now, Tesla officially has rolled into the Indian market today with the launch of its first showroom at Maker Maxity Mall in Mumbai's Bandra Kurla complex. The EV pioneer teased its arrival last Friday in its India-focused X account. Tesla will sell imported vehicles, including the Model Y, priced at around $69,770 US. That excludes local manufacturing for now. Encouraged by India's new EV policy offering reduced import duties and incentives, Tesla aims to test the waters in the world's third largest passenger car market. Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy has confirmed Tesla's current focus is on retail only. With minimal EV penetration and charging concerns still prevalent, Tesla is set to challenge German luxury brands like BMW and Mercedes-Benz in the premium electric vehicle segment. Now, India has once again risen to its commitment to non-fossil sources. The good news is that India now accounts for half the power grid from renewable sources of energy. India has achieved a new landmark in its energy transition journey, reaching 50% of its installed electricity capacity from non-fossil fuel sources. Notably, this achievement comes 5 years ahead of the 2030 target set under the Paris Agreement. On the global stage, India continues to lead in climate action, promoting equity and sustainable lifestyles. Now, this breakthrough, driven by initiatives like PM Kusum and rooftop solar, highlight India's commitment to climate leadership and inclusive energy growth. Union Minister of New and Renewable Energy, Dr. Prasar Joshi, has hailed it as a proud moment, crediting Prime Minister Modi's leadership for the nation's green transformation. India now stands as a global torchbearer of clean, inclusive and sustainable development. Also, India's Minister for New and Renewable Energy, Prasar Joshi, has delivered a keynote address at the IBCA Renewable Energy Summit 2025. Minister Joshi emphasized that India's energy demand is expected to double by 2035, reaching around 816 gigawatts. Speaking at the event in Mumbai, the minister said that if nearly 50% of this growing demand is to be met through renewable energy, it would require significant funding, opening up large investment opportunities in the sector.
India's energy need is going to be doubled by 2035. तो बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में हमारा जो 2030 तक आज मैंने जैसे मैंने पहले बताया हमारा इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी बोथ टू पुट टुगेदर इट इज about 483-84 gigawatt. So, but requirement will be, you can't imagine by 2030 the requirement will be almost 817 gigawatt. This is what is expectation. When we want to generate 817 gigawatt of energy, out of that, even if you consider as a 50% from the renewable energy, so you see the requirement of fund for that.
Yashobhoomi hosted the India Machine Tools Show 2025, highlighting the future of manufacturing. Yashobhoomi Convention Centre CEO said the centre's vision closely shares the Government of India's vision to make the country a developed nation by 2047.
We are actually following great visions of India. One good example is the Viksit Bharat 2047, because that is an amazing vision that cultivates and nurture all the key growth sector of industries We're in the process of collecting all those key growth sectoral trade shows from inside and outside of India. So that's the vision. So we are moving along with the development of India government and their key vision. And also we are trying to play a strategic role in attracting all those related synergistical shows and conferences from inside and outside of India through our active global strategic alliances.
In sports, R. Vaishali and Harika Dronavalli joined compatriots Kuneru Hampi and Divya Deshmukh in the pre-quarterfinals of the FIDE Women's World Cup in Georgia. Vaishali had to dig deep to beat USA's Carissa Yip. After both of their classical games ended in a draw, the 15+10 rapid tie-break match also finished with the same result. Vaishali won both the 10+10 rapid games to book a spot in the pre-quarterfinals, where she will face Merud Kamaridonova of Kazakhstan. Meanwhile, Harika defeated Greek player Stavrula Surakidu in the same manner as Vaishali. Harika will now face Lagno in the next round. Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen have been in action in the Japan Open 2025 badminton tournament, which starts today. Sindhu and Lakshya, as well as men's doubles pair of Chirag Shetty and Sathwik Sairaj Rankireddy, were last seen at the Indonesia Open in early June. All three skipped the subsequent US Open and Canada Open. In the women's doubles category, Rituparna Panda and Shwetaparna Panda will be representing the Indian contingent. Croatia's captain Luka Modric has completed his move to AC Milan on a one-year deal with an option to extend until June 2027. Modric, who's set to leave Real Madrid after 13 years, will wear the number 14 shirt. He's made 597 appearances for the Spanish club, winning 28 trophies, including 4 La Liga and 6 Champions League titles. The 39-year-old midfielder's arrival was confirmed by newly appointed Milan coach Massimiliano Allegri earlier this month. Australia crushed the West Indies by 176 runs in the third test at Kingston, Jamaica, to complete a 3-0 series sweep. Mitchell Starc delivered the fastest 5-wicket haul in test history by taking just 15 balls to wreck the West Indies' top order. Scott Boland also contributed to the domination with a brilliant hat-trick. West Indies were bowled out for 27, the second lowest total in test history after New Zealand's 26 against England in 1955. Starc shattered the previous record for a 5-4 by 4 balls, surpassing Ernie Toshak, Stuart Broad and Boland. Indian opener Shefali Verma has moved back into the top 10 of the ICC Women's T20 International's player rankings for batters. Wrapping up the 5-match T20I series with 176 runs and a strike rate of 158.56, Shefali was the second highest run getter behind Mandana. Shefali top scored with 75 runs of 41 balls in the last match of the series and jumped 4 spots into 9th place. Another key contributor to India's 3-2 series win was Arundhati Reddy, who snapped 6 wickets during the course of the series. Reddy scalped 2 wickets in the final T20I and leapt 4 spots to the 39th place in the bowling rankings. And production has begun on the new TV adaptation of Harry Potter, as the first picture of the lead actor in costume was released. Producers released the first picture of 11-year-old Dominic McLaughlin in costume as Harry Potter on Monday and confirmed several new cast members. J.K. Rowling's series of novels has already been made into a film, or a series of films rather, but HBO is now producing a TV series which is expected to take 10 years to complete. The program will be filmed at Warner Brothers Studios, Leavesden in Hertfordshire, which is where the 8 Harry Potter movies were also shot. So that should save some money. That's all we have for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen, download the app right now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.